let's get started and talk about what needs to be talked about because I've written down a couple of questions for me to be answered by. And so, what's going on? Like in life? What's going on in life? This is the first question here, written on this piece of paper. I'm in this home alone, and now it doesn't refer to the story behind it, it only refers to the present moment, and I'm only, confined in the boundaries of describing what is going on within the moment. So, according to the question, I'm within this home, and I am alone because my siblings, they had to go back home within my hometown, and now I'm within this home alone, handling myself, handling my day-to-day routine. It's been like 7 days now, and it will be 7 days more, you can say, till they will come back. So I'm just taking care of myself, not eating a lot of good stuff, to be honest. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. In the Saturday, today's Sunday, so yesterday I ate some good stuff, for my health, and I also hit gym. So it's most likely like I'm fighting myself to take care of myself, which I have never been too much good at. So this is it. I mean, I'm struggling with handling my craft and handling my day-to-day routine, and I'm spending more than what should be spent financially, and this is what's going on. All right, where are you going in life? Where am I going in life? Okay, so as far as I can see from where I have come, the patterns of my life, I believe that I'm going towards the financial success because this is it. That's all I have kind of wanted. I mean, all I have ever wanted, to have the control, to have the things that I truly want. So it was like a predefined rational strategy for me to be wanting to have control in my life, and that was of course going to be happening by the financial independence, and that's where I'm going. I mean, I'm going towards the financial independence, and with that control comes the success, because success requires you to be able to take the decisions by yourself and execute according to the plan that you made. So this is where I'm going, towards my financial independence. What do you really, really want? What do I really, really want? I think I want my basic needs to be fulfilled. There's a portion of my personality where I want to help others, for those who are in need. It's a part of my personality. Now, this goes back to the objective personality system that I started to study, that I have never become, a professional at. But that gave me an idea of how this world works, how scientifically, psychologically, human beings behave socially, and as social creatures, and as solo creatures on their own with the mob. And that's just something that gave me a bigger picture of what's going on that people just don't seem to know a lot, and that's why they're too much subjective about the way they have to perceive things, the way they have to take action, and just just simply behave. So speaking of objective personality, which this thing goes back to as objective personality, the fact that I want others to be happy too, it's a portion of my personality. An objective personality system being a definition of how my personality works uniquely and individually. It goes back to the cognitive functions that I use to study the four major cognitive functions with a charge on them, having either an extroverted charge or an introverted charge. So nobody is basically a bad person or a good person. They're all mechanisms working according to the way they have been fabricated, the way their neurological system has been fabricated, and that's the way I am as well. And I think that portion of my personality, being extroverted feeling, is a unique part, and is a fundamental part of what I want. And it says others, why should I be enjoying the meal only? Let's share. So that's what I want. Also, there is the FI factor, and if you're adding like two reallys within the question, like what do you really want, then it actually points out the FI, the introverted feeling, which is your personal desire, which is like the self-centered desire, kind of selfishness you can say, but it is a need too. So trying to describe what I really want. Yeah, I want my basic needs to be fulfilled. I want a happy life, and I want to become a music producer, but this podcast, it's like, let's be honest. So I will be honest with you, because there have been a lot of things that have been hindering my creativity. So when I was a teenager, I got addicted to pornography. Now pornography, it feeded my brain with the amount of dopamine that was of course unhealthy for it. And it took my creativity from me. I sacrificed my creativity for this shit, I would say. For just being able to be on the screen for hours and watching porns and wanking it off. It has always been kind of disgusting for me, and at the same time it has been so enjoyable for me. So what I truly, really want is for that old self of mine to come back and be able to create, be able to become who I really am. I'm a pretty creative and analytical person. I really get into this stuff and get to know how it's done, and I'm starting to become a top performer in my company. So it's just not like out of the blue. It's the way I have been built. Communication being a pretty good, I would say, a fundamental part of my personality and my skills, basically my skill set. And that's why I have been assisted within this role that I chose for myself. And I'm a visionary person too, because I can see where I can be applied, and that's where I take myself. And that makes me be proud of myself as well. So a little clapping for me, because in the long term I have always taken the best decisions I can, but I know in the short term I really, I fail to handle my craft. I fail to take care of myself at times. I'm more like loose in the short term, but I'm disciplined in the long term, because I never compromise on taking the long-term decisions of my life, So, where were we? What do I really want? Did I ever answer that question? I most probably did. Yeah, music production, being able to make muscle, I don't know if I have any or not, but guess what? I'm on my crack. I'm trying to beat, and there's this one thing I said about starting gym is harder than lifting even 1,000 pounds if you're able to do it physically. Because it comes with a lot of struggles, a lot of things that you're unaware of that might happen, that might go wrong, that might not work out the way you thought them to work out. You're starting to, set a routine, so you're like not in the flow state. You're actually starting to create a flow state, which is actually the hardest thing about starting to work out, starting the gym routine. And also, this is the phase I am in right now. I haven't really defined my financial, I haven't really defined my budget yet. I haven't really, defined the way I have to handle everything. The weather is getting, colder. I don't have a refrigerator right now, so things are, molding with time. The surroundings are molding with time. So, yeah, it's good. So, I really spoke a lot, but I did not give a brief answer to the question. And I know that. But it's okay. The sole purpose of this podcast is for me to take it out of my chest, to give my thoughts direction, to be able to communicate what I feel inside, what I feel inside here. That's what I want to communicate about. And that's what I want to know, what it is. At times we just really don't know what's going on in the inside. We're just too, what you call, brain-centered, and at the same time we just don't know what is going on in the brain. Detached from the reality, too much introverted, too much towards the inside, but you don't really know at the same time what's going on the inside, because your eyes were built to only look outwards. They were not built for you to be looking inside. You don't have a retina facing inside, it's facing outside. So here's what you do. You picturize what's going on within your brain, and then you look at it. And that's what I'm doing right now. So beautiful. It is a beautiful concept, and it's called just taking out of your chest, Anyway, so I kind of told what I really, really want. In order to narrow it down, I want to get back my creativity and become a music producer. I want to build my physique. I want to build myself physically and mentally. So, yes, that's right. That's right. And I want more money in order to do what I want to do. It's a rational factor strategized by my analysis and my intuition. And God, I like my intuition, man. In the middle of this conversation, I said that I'm a champion of, maybe these were not the words, but I said I'm so good at, taking long-term decisions. I'm like killing it. I'm like disciplined. That's what I said. When it comes to long-term decisions, I am disciplined. So that's right. That's the way I am. And that's why I like my intuition a lot. Because it gives me conclusions that help me direct my path. And I have no pride in it. Because why would I? I mean, I didn't make it. God gave it to me, The moment it started, I just started using it. So I'm not proud of what I am, because no, try to understand, try to interpret what I'm really trying to say here. I'm not proud of what I am as I am, as I have been sent into this world. Because I could be less than this, I could be, there are people who are less than this. I know, I'm not saying it out of pride. You know it, I'm not saying it out of pride. So it's like a fact, it's a reality. So there are people who are less than me, and it's not their fault. They're less in analysis, they're less in rationality, they're less in emotional judgment, emotional intelligence. They're less in too many factors. I mean, I came to this world with all of this, and it all just started developing itself. It's not like I had developed it. I used what I was given with already, and I'm grateful for that. So that's why I like to stay humble, and help those who are in need, and help those who are, because this is the reality. If you're not this way, if you're not built this way, then you're going against the reality. And I think God wanted to make me be as close to reality as possible, and that's how I am. I don't have any regrets. I don't have any, what you may call. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, lately I have been saying that I've got an imposter syndrome, but I think within my soul, solely and deeply, I don't have an imposter syndrome either. So I'm like the way I should be. That's right. So how will you get it? As you have defined what you really, really want, being a music producer, the same creative kind I was back then, and building a physique and building myself mentally, So how would I get it? How would I get it? I will have to get rid of pornography. I will have to honestly give up, sacrifice the cheap dopamine it produces, and I will have to literally replace each and everything that causes the craving, I will have to literally work as an addict, because I am an addict, and I have to address, I have to resolve, I have to take care of an addiction at the moment. So it is going to be dealt as it is an addiction, because it is an addiction. And regardless of the fact that people do not consider this to be an addiction, this is what it becomes if you're an addict. Nicotine, sex, and every kind of lust, everything, it all amps into the same fucking hole. It all, falls into the same fucking hole, and that black hole is the state of yourself where you really don't want to do this anymore, and you're still doing it. You're still doing it because it makes you do it. Because again, you're a mechanism. You're not even a person at the moment if you're talking about this physical self of yours, The only thing that makes me call myself a person is my soul. And that is literally nothing. It's like the slightest chunk of the reality. placed this water cooler behind my little table. Not this one, you cannot see it. So it was making me feel weird and ashamed because it kind of looked a bit daisy, you can say. I don't know why it matches with my yeah, I just realized it. It's like matching with my getup too. That's right, man. Anyway, I think I'm gonna upload this video on YouTube once I will watch it, of course, and then anyway. Wow. Oh God. By the way, I am like quite Western, and at the same time I'm pretty Desi too. If you don't know what is Desi, it's like D for duck, E for elephant, S for snake, I for iota, or what other words can we use for I? Wow. I for insects, you know. So it's Desi. I'm also a bit Desi, and you know. But I found my world in the Western culture a lot. It's not like I haven't developed any of my Desi taste. I have, and I like it. Yes, but of course, if I'm gonna like upload this video on YouTube or whatever, my international friends are gonna be able to interpret me only if I'm going to speak English. Maybe some international friends can also speak Urdu or Hindi, and definitely you will be able to interpret me अगर मैं उर्दू या हिंदी में बात कर रहा होता. If I was, speaking in Urdu or Hindi, that's what I said. So, how would you get it? You never replied to that question. I think I replied a part of it, and that was about removing pornography so that I can get my creative self back. I think that's how it's gonna work. But I think I'm also gonna go to a psychologist. I'm also gonna, consult with a psychologist. I will have to save some amount of money so I can spend that on my sessions. They're asking me for, okay kind of amount of money, and okay kind of amount of money can be saved, and I will save it, and then I will, go to them and tell them that this is what's going on. And maybe I can do it on my own, but I've been trying, man. I've been trying. This shit is a mess, Trying to, I don't know. It's, life gets out of control. People who have actually done it right now, man, I'm proud of you. But along with being proud of you, I also think the surroundings favored you a bit, But no doubt the fact that you gave your 100%, and it really had you sacrificing a lot from yourself. I'm not trying to depreciate that fact or degrade that thing. No. I'm just saying that there are internal and external factors involved, so it's possible for some people, not possible for others, but this should also not be an excuse for me to be, considering, so I don't do anything about it without a psychologist. So maybe I would do it without a psychologist, maybe I would do it with a psychologist, so no shame should be involved in either of the cases. And no pride should be involved in either of the cases as well. So, this is it. This is how I'm gonna, do that. And speaking of my physical health, I will have to push myself, and I will have to manage my budget. I will have to, 50% of my nutritional routine is ready. 50% of, you can say, my workout routine is in the flow. Because I've been doing this for like 2 weeks now, and in the start I just sucked at it. Speaking of the nutrition, speaking of the workout, I'm starting to get better. So I'm like on the track right now. I'm not so good at it, but I'm on the track. And hopefully I will get better. So that's right. Good luck to me, good luck to almost everybody out there who are trying to get better, who are trying to either get better by themselves, or shout out to the parents who are helping their children out, who are helping their children to get better. Anyone who is thinking of the betterment, whether for themselves or others, damn man, I appreciate you, I'm proud of you. Keep doing it, keep grinding, and guess what? This shit is just gonna get done. And optimism is a fundamental part of success. So never lose hope, never lose optimism, and you guys are gonna get this shit done. Because if you can come this far, even if you can like take the first step, that should give you an idea of the fact that you can take steps. So remember, try to remember. It's not about how far you have come. It's about that first step and the amount of steps that you have taken that should give you a level of confidence within yourself. And that level of confidence should help you proceed. It should help you, be able to do it, whatever you want to do. So good luck, my friends. Good luck to me. And this is the end of the podcast, episode 1, Let's Be Honest, and hopefully I will be back on the show if I decide to be, because the surroundings are, supporting it. I bought myself a table, I have the gimbal, my sister gave it to me, I have the phone, I will hopefully buy an iPhone later if I'm able to save some amount of money, and things are like in my favor, so the external factors have to be in your favor. In case they're not, you have to take the steps. You have to first discipline the internal factors so you can have some amount of control on the external factors. And that's how you, run in life. That's how you walk with pride. And that's how you take over success. Goodbye.